Our lunch speaker today is Carrie Goodman. Carrie Goodman is the National Program Director of the National Brain Health Center for African Americans, a program component of the Balm and Gilead in Richmond, Virginia. For the past 12 years, he's traveled extensively throughout the country, educating, advocating, and empowering faith communities on various public health issues such as HIV/AIDS, hepatitis C, food and nutrition, Alzheimer's and related dementias, diabetes, obesity, and other chronic conditions. Carrie is diligently working to establish and expand health programs in every church in the United States. He currently serves on planning boards for various national conferences and organizations. Let's give him a welcome. Thank you.
All right, good afternoon, everybody. So let me just preface this by saying I know I'm competing against food, so I will do my best to make sure that you get something while you're getting something, all right? As she stated, I am Carrie Goodman, and I am the National Program Director for the Balm and Gilead, and a part of the Balm and Gilead's National Brain Health Center for African Americans. And the National Brain Health Center for African Americans is an information hub that we have, that we provide resources and education to various individuals that's interested in Alzheimer's, dementia, caregiving, and advocacy. I think it's very important that we have such a resource because we understand that there are far too few resources for African Americans that is specifically designed to African Americans. So please, if you get a chance, visit our website, which is www.balmingilead.org. And I'll spell that, that's BALMINGILEAD.org. And so I told Karen right before, while they were setting up for lunch, that I'm not going to do slides. George had a very good, thorough presentation on my slides. And so I appreciate him for that. So I'm just going to talk to you. And I understand and I appreciate everybody that put today together. Let's give them a hand. During the break, I was telling Kathy, this particular event is one that is very necessary because as a caregiver myself, it is what you need in order to be liberated, what you need in order to just have that moment where you can just breathe. When I sat down earlier on my Apple Watch, it periodically tells me to take a breath. And when I sat down, I hit my notification just because I needed that moment to just breathe. And I think as many of us that are caregivers, we don't do that enough. We don't, we're so worried about taking care of our loved ones that we don't get a moment to just breathe for ourselves. And so I appreciate you all for today. I believe that there's going to be so much breath happening in the room because I feel like there will be some persons who will be a little more freer when they leave here. So I want to just take this moment to personally thank Karen for the invitation. She did her diligent work to make sure that I was here, and I gave her my word that I would be here a long time ago, and so I am so glad that it actually manifested. So thank you so much, Karen, for your hard work today. And so I got a little bit of time. Is that all right? I got a little bit of time to enjoy you all. And as I typically start, and I did it yesterday, but just take a moment while you're eating. I just want you to have a reflective moment. Just think for a moment. Is that all right? And how I typically start my presentations is asking one simple question. And typically I have an instrument in my hand, and it's a mirror. And I ask the question, when you look in the mirror, who do you see? Let me say that again. When you look in the mirror, who do you see? And so I'm just going to take a moment and just walk around a little bit. I hope he doesn't get mad. I told him I was going to walk a little bit, so I hope the camera follows. So when you look in the mirror, who do you see?
I say this a lot because when older I get, I look in the mirror, I see my dad. I see Daddy. I see his eyes, everything.
Okay. Let me ask you, when you look in the mirror, who do you see?
Well, a couple months ago, I looked in the mirror and I said, I recognize that jawline that's changing, and it's my mom's. I said, that looks familiar, and it was my mom.
Okay. Okay. Let me go back here. I'm sorry. I want to ask a gentleman, when you look in the mirror, who do you see? Now, just take a moment and really think about this, because I'm going to go somewhere. So when you look in the mirror, who do you see?
I see myself, but like the others said, I do see other people in my family, some attributes that are definitely from my mother and my dad, and some from my grandmother as well. So.
All right, let me go to the other side of the room. I want somebody to tell me who they really see, because I think nobody's really being honest when they look in the mirror, who they really see.
Well, I did this recently, and I looked in the mirror and I said, I got to get this done. I see myself as somebody who's always got to get things done, get this done, get this done. So I don't take much time looking in the mirror. I try to avoid it so I can go get stuff done.
Okay, saw another hand.
So when you first asked the question, I could see my mother because I don't have eyelashes on. But then I thought about it and I said, I see Beyonce. You know,
Okay.
full of life, you know, you want to do for others, you want to have a good time. Yes.
All right, we got Beyonce in the house. Anybody else? Anybody else that wants to share? Okay, I'm glad you did.
I see social constructs. So maybe this sounds negative, but sometimes when I look in the mirror, I see all the things that I'm not that I wish that I was. So all the things that the media tells me I'm supposed to look like, and all the negative things, and that can be hard sometimes.
I'm so glad you said that. Because in order to be very impactful in the work that we're doing, and in order to be a very successful caregiver, you have to first know who you really are. So if you look in the mirror and you see what other people are telling you what you need to be, then that's exactly what most of us do. Many times we look in the mirror and we see the mask that we put on a daily basis. Yes, I see the makeup, you all. I see the hair that you have on, yes. But when you take that off, when you stand in the mirror, fresh face, looking your natural self, like, you have to be honest who you really are. Because, I walked around the room and I said, and it's great that you say, I see my mother, I see my father, I see various attributes of persons in my family. But that's great. But do you see hurt? Do you see pain? Do you see debt? Like, let's be honest. As a caregiver, we are never really honest about what it takes to get to the point that we really are. Like, nobody's gonna be really honest about what it took to get here today. So if you came from downtown Seattle, and you had to take an Uber to get here, that may have been like $25, $30. Let's be real. Many of us don't have $25, $30 every time we want to go one way. Ma'am, I know exactly what you went through to get here. But I'm coming back here too. Listen, let me help you. Let me help you. See, right. This right here is something that handicaps her for the rest of her life. And if there is not proper transportation for her to get to where she gotta go, then the reality is she may have to stay where she is. You want to say something? Come on, just take a moment.
Number one, when I look in the mirror, you know what I see? I see a miracle. I see a happy person. Okay? And you don't know what I went through to get here. I waited over an hour for my ride to bring me. But I thank God I'm still happy. You know, I look in the mirror, I see my mother, I see my father, and I see happiness. I'm not going to let anybody steal my joy. You know, I slowed down, baby, but you're not going to steal my joy. You know, I'm quiet now. You think I'm loud, but I'm used to quiet.
Y'all give her a hand. Because the reality is, so like I said, I'm a caregiver for my mother. My mother was diagnosed with diabetes when I was a youngster. And over the last 5 years.
Okay. So guys, we're going to come right back with another video here. But I want to take a minute just to tell you what we're doing. This is, let's just go ahead and get set up here. And then we'll come back here and I'll tell you what we're doing here.
And so that means
all right, we're going to stop this now just for a second. Let's go here. All right, let's tell you what we're doing. So as you can see, we're in a workshop, and this is in Seattle, Washington, and this was done a while ago, but the information is the same. So what we're looking at is ways to share dementia caregiving with the Black African-American caregivers. And all you see these people in there, they're basically caregivers that are at this workshop. And so some of the ways here that has been discussed, but going to be discussed probably, will be things that we can do even. But I just want to share that sharing dementia caregiving strategies with the Black community caregivers, it can be impactful when tailored to their unique needs. So it's got to be tailored to what we need as a people. And that's what is happening right here. Now, not everyone that is in this workshop is Black or African American, but 99% of them are. One, we need to provide materials and programs that respect cultural values and address specific challenges faced by Black caregivers. That's really important. For example, like there's it's called Pair to Care. Pair to Care. I wrote that one down as well. Pair to Care. He also mentioned, Dr. Carey here mentioned, and he's a pastor, by the way, too, as a minister as well. www.bombingilead.org. And we know in the scriptures, bomb means physician, doctor. There's a bomb in Gilead. There's an old hymn. So there is a way that we can share information. We also want to host workshops, and that's what's happening right here. And we can, hopefully in our community, we can host workshops. I think they just had one here in Rochester this weekend. I believe it was yesterday on Alzheimer's, but unfortunately I was working. I was not able to get there. So host workshops. We can do support groups online or in person, or events in local Black communities to foster connection, whatever we can find a way to get the caregiving tips out to Black family caregivers. Educators like Macy P. Smith emphasize the importance of accessible resources and community-based support. So I have a couple of more things to share, but right now we're going to get into the next portion of this workshop.
To the mall, that means we got to take a wheelchair. So I had to get a vehicle that was big enough to fit a wheelchair in it. Let me say that again. I had to purchase another vehicle in order for her mechanisms to get in. And many times the funds are not there. Let's be real. How many of you like put $5 in your gas tank and say, I hope I make it where I gotta go? And if you get a full tank of gas, oh, you're doing really good. You know, a full tank of gas is like Christmas morning. Let's be real. Let's be real. And see, the reality is many of us are not being honest with ourselves when we look in the mirror. Many of us will believe what the media tells us that we should be. Many of us look in the mirror and believe what society say we should be. You know, but guess what? You make your standards and you live above the standards that you set for yourself, not what anybody else tells you to. So if you say you want to go to college and I don't have the money to go to college, guess what? You have the ability to do and be whatever you... Hold up. All right, I wasn't going to go here, but I'm going to go here. All right. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm a preacher. All right. All right. So the Word of God declares in Proverbs, the 18th chapter, and the 21st verse, it says this: death and life are in the power of the tongue. Let me say that again. Proverbs, the 18th chapter, and the 21st verse says this: death and life are in the power of the tongue. So your words have power. You have the ability to say what you want and get it because you opened your mouth. Many of us don't get what we want, don't get what we need because we're so worried about what others are going to say, what others are going to think. If you want a raise, guess what? Ask for your raise. If you want to go somewhere, speak it into existence until it happens. And if we're really honest, we tend to hoard everything that we've been through. We tend to hoard all of the lies that people have told on us. We tend to hoard all of the mistakes we've made. And just like on the show Hoarders, y'all seen that show Hoarders? You know, from the outside, you would never know those persons were going through what they were going through because, you know, they were so, you know, so happy, so jolly on the outside. But when people stepped into their house, they say, how can someone live like this? And then I asked the question, how could they not live like this? Because as a caregiver, we go through some things like depression, anxiety, and I'll say it again, debt. Like, let's be honest. If you're not receiving funds from Medicaid or Medicare in order to be compensated for caregiving, guess what? You're essentially adding another person's to your, you know, to your bills. You have another mouth to feed.
Wow, guys. Awesome. Now we're going to go into the next portion of this session right here. And
we have persons
right.
that come into the house and everybody say, you know, you can get paid to, you know, take care of your mom. I understand that. And I'm telling people every day that you can get paid to take care. But I say, no, I don't want to do that. And so one thing, my mother was getting food stamps. And the thing that's so crazy is, let's just say the renewal application gets lost in mail, that means that they're going to take your food stamps away. Which means now I have to figure out how we're going to purchase food so that my mother can get proper nutrition. Because yes, it's easy to go and get, at Wendy's you can get the 4 for $4. Yep. It's easy to do that. But that's not gonna, allow her to have a healthy life. I'm one of those persons that when I'm at home and I'm not on the road, I want to make sure my mother has healthy food. So before I left Virginia to come here on Thursday, I made sure that I cooked enough food that she had to eat until I got back home. And I do that on a regular basis because I want to make sure, yes, I can go on my Uber Eats app and just have something delivered to the house, but it may not be the healthiest thing. So then we get to, what are we going to eat? Well, I can tell somebody to stop at Wendy's and get a 4 for $4 and she'll, be full for that moment, But let's be really honest with ourselves. Let's be super, super honest with ourselves. And when we begin to start taking those masks off, then we're able to really be free and liberated. So we can come to a moment like this and not have to worry about what's going on outside those doors. I mean, really, how many of y'all have checked your phone since you've been here? You've checked your phone since you've been here, And those persons that are saying, no, I did not, I applaud you. I've been on my phone the whole time. Because I got to make sure my mom is straight. I got to make sure the organization is straight. Got to make sure church is straight. So when I land in the morning, I can go from the airport directly to church. And it will be as if no beat was missed. But many of us don't get that opportunity to fly across country for a few days. Why? Because we don't have help. Let's be real. We don't have help. Or money. But here's the thing. Just like I said, life and death are in the power of your tongue. Everything you need is in the power of your tongue. So if you need help, guess what? Ask for it. Let me say these words, and I'm gonna say it as loud as I can. You cannot do everything by yourself. You cannot do everything by yourself. And this just doesn't go for caregiving. This goes for every area of your life. That's why I appreciate when she introduced the planning team, because guess what? It could have been just one person that put this together, and they could have been stressed trying to make sure that every T was crossed and every I was dotted. But when you start looking at who you are and understand, the community that you have, guess what? There are persons that are willing to help you do everything. That's why I appreciate pastors that appoint persons in their congregation to do different things. Because here's the thing. Many of us expect our pastors and faith leaders to be all things to all people. Guess what? The pastor is not a mechanic. Don't ask your pastor to change a tire. Let me say this again. The pastor is not a medical doctor. Please don't ask your pastor for medical advice. George is a mental health professional. Send the people to George if you want some mental health information. Don't ask your pastor for mental health. So many times, we allow ourselves to put persons at such high regards and have such high expectations of what they're capable of doing. when they're not capable at all. And we do ourselves a great disservice. We do ourselves a great disservice, not only to the situation, but to ourselves, because we are not willing to look outside of our familiarity. So you got to be willing, you got to be willing to sometimes just step out of the boat a little bit. You got to be willing to just step out just a little bit so that you can really see the possibilities. Trust me, this world has so many possibilities. I appreciate the internet and social media because it gives you the opportunity to see the possibilities. George mentioned YouTube. If you go to YouTube and just type how to do X, Y, and Z, you'll find how to do. Karen talked the other night about she went to YouTube to learn how to use her Instapot. If you don't know how to do it, you got to find out how to do it. You can't expect, and that goes back to what I just said, you can't expect everybody to know everything. I'm not a nurse. I do the best that I can, but if I need some nursing advice, I ask a nurse. I'm not a hairstylist. I do the best that I can, but if I need some information on how to do this and that, I ask a hairstylist or a barber. I'm sorry, I'm in his way. But you have to be willing to just say, hey, I'm only one person. I can only do but this much. And then when you're at your max, you have to be willing to just take your hands off of it. And especially if you have family. Like, I'm the caregiver to my mother, but I have siblings. Now, there have been many days that I have been frustrated. I have cried. I have fussed, and let's be real, I have cussed. Because I said, why am I the only one willing to do And you know what my mother said? Well, you should talk to them and tell them what you need. No. But see, here's the thing, and it hit me because my sister said, you know what? I know I'm not able to do everything. My sister lives in a different city. I know I'm not able to do all that I can, but I thank you. And guess what? That thank you meant a whole lot. Because there are some of us in this room that we feel like, God, I just wish somebody appreciated me. I just wish that there was somebody that understood. Guess what? There are persons who understand. I saw out there, there's a support group for caregivers, the second Tuesday. Right, Sound Generation. Please don't be too big that you can't go to a support group. I don't need to go to support group. I don't need to talk. Yes, you do. I believe everybody needs to talk to somebody. Let me say this again. I believe everybody needs to talk to somebody. Tell your neighbor you need to talk to somebody. Okay, now tell your other neighbor, no, I need to talk to somebody. Because the life of a caregiver can be a very silent life. Why? Because this one word, trust. Who can I trust with my feelings? Who can I trust? And it was so ironic. Yesterday, one question that was asked to me when I spoke, and she said, okay, so if I'm single, I don't have any kids, What if something happens to me? Who's going to be responsible for my affairs when it's all said and done? And really, it's a lonely road. Like, it's a lonely road. And I appreciate her for saying that she's a happy woman. But guess what? There are so many days where happy is so far away. Why? Because I don't know if what I'm going through is really going to make me happy. I don't know if what I put in place is going to give me pure happiness. But I asked the question, when you look in the mirror, who do you see? You got to be real honest about that person that's looking back at you. So if you want to believe that you're Beyonce, guess what? You have to continue to live your life in a manner that you're thinking, I am whoever I say I am. Let me say this again. I am whoever I say I am. I can be whatever I say I can be. I can have whatever I say I can have. And I'm not just reciting something that's familiar. I'm speaking real life. Because in order for you to get to where you're going, you got to first believe that you can get there. Guess what? Money is not an issue. Money is not an issue. Money is not an issue. Because you can have whatever you say that you want. You got to first believe it. Let me get that down in your spirit. You got to say what you want and then hold it. I remember a few years ago, and I've been with the organization for now 11 years. I know I look 25. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. It's funny because if you ask my mother how old I am, she's going to tell you exactly the age that I tell people, and that's 26 plus. So, and she does not deviate from that. If I say I'm 26 plus, guess what? No matter what that plus is, I'm going to be that. But I remember a few years ago, I said that I want to travel. I want to travel. I want to see, not the world, I want to see our country. Because, you know, far too long, we want to go to the islands and have a good time. There are some amazing places. And this is my first time in Seattle. I have had an amazing time since I've been here. And guess what? I'm coming back. I am coming back. But I said I wanted to see our country. And I didn't know 3 years ago that I would get promoted to this position and have the opportunity to see the country. So every time I go somewhere, I get a magnet and put it on my refrigerator. So my refrigerator is now starting to look like a world map, a United States map, because, you know, I want to just relish in the places here in our country. Yes, I've been abroad. Yes, going abroad is wonderful. But guess what? We got to believe in what we have in our local areas. Seattle is a great city. And not only that, there are some great resources here. There are some amazing resources here. So don't think for a moment that you can't have what you need, because if you look out the room, there are plenty of resources for you to hold on to. And so I say that because I said I want to travel. I want to see this country. And my words spoke that into existence. I literally travel at least 3 to 4 days a week. So I'm like today, I leave tonight, fly back to Virginia, grab another suitcase, fly to Alabama. Like, that's how my life is set up now. And guess what? I have to be okay with it because that's what I said I wanted. If I say I want it, then I gotta believe it. And then I can't get mad when it's given to me. You know, so if you say, I want a new car, I want a new car. When you get that new car, don't fuss your new car out. You said you wanted a new car. Don't stress about how you're gonna pay for it. That's what you said that you wanted. So I'm gonna stop there. Any questions, any thoughts? I really want you to, maybe not so much even ask questions. I want you to ponder this moment we've shared. So anybody want to just tell me how they're feeling right now? Or tell me what they see when they really look in the mirror? Anybody? Y'all got scared? Yeah, quiet. I'm gonna ask this brother. He spoke earlier, and I just want to know. Yeah, you. When you look in the mirror, no, really, who do you really see?
I see a black man struggling but taking care of his business.
That's good. That's good. Because guess what? Struggle is not your end. Let me say that for somebody that needs to hear it. Struggling is not your end. It will not be the end of your story. All right, I'm gonna ask you. Yes, you. I'm coming to you.
I see somebody who's enough. Yeah. Actually on my mirror, like, you are enough.
That's good. That's really good. Yes.
So, Carrie, I know that the National Brain Health for African Americans is also very involved, in fact, initiated Memory Sunday. Can you talk a little bit about that?
You can always count on Karen to make sure I stay online, stay on focus. So Memory Sunday, it is one of our programs of the National Brain Health Center for African Americans. Memory Sunday is the second Sunday in June, and it is a Sunday where we want the faith community to address Alzheimer's, dementia, and caregiving. Now, one of the things I love about Memory Sunday is, yes, the pastor or the leaders of the church can get up and talk about it, but that's the Sunday that I say, bring your loved ones to church. Because far too long, persons that we're caring for, we tend to isolate them from their normalcy. So if church was something that they did on a regular basis, and you often wonder, who mentioned it? I think it was George that mentioned about taking a loved one to somebody after 20 years and they thought that the person had died. There are situations like that, and churches are like, I thought sister such and such had died, and we didn't have a funeral. And you bring them on Memory Sunday, and you sing songs like Amazing Grace. Because guess what? They remember things like that. You recite scriptures like Psalms 23, the Lord is my shepherd. Why? Because that's something that I learned back in Vacation Bible School when I was really young. Y'all know what Vacation Bible School is. And so Memory Sunday is that Sunday that we say, we don't care what it takes, get them there. Now, see, here's the thing. We do trainings and webinars with churches. We say, okay, perhaps creating a space in the church, it may not be in the sanctuary, because the sanctuary, all of the people, it may not be, they may not be able to handle it. So if they create a space, maybe in a fellowship hall or in another part of the church, some churches are large churches that have classrooms and things where persons can Come, enjoy being amongst others and not feel so isolated. So the second Sunday in June, and here's the thing that I will say. Karen works very hard. This year she had four churches that participated here in Seattle for Memory Sunday. I want to triple that number for 2019. And I think that there are enough people in this room that can help make it happen. I'm pretty sure that there are at least 12 churches represented in this room. And it is not denomination based. And let me also say this. Yes, it is designed and focused for the African American community, but if your congregation is not African American, guess what? You can still host a Memory Sunday event. We can alter and change the language. Let me say that again. We can alter and change the language of the materials that are out so that it fits your congregation. And so I'm going to give you this charge to reach out to Karen so that you can jump on board. I am 100% a believer of collaborating and building coalitions. If we get enough churches in Seattle to just say, hey, we want to do something, do you know how impactful that will be to this city? We want to get the word out, we want to get the message out, but we got to get the message to the people. And if the people are coming to the pews, then we got to start using that. Next question or thought? I see you. Come here.
Hi, my name is Sharon Sobers Outlaw, and I'm a social worker. When Taylene Watson was talking, I thought of myself, Lord have mercy. But I'm trying to do better at that. I take my mom everywhere I go. My mother goes everywhere. She goes dancing. We go Zumba. I got her little male friend in the out of the deal, and we go line dancing on Saturday. We missed it today because we're here. We go boot camp line dancing, so I'm always doing stuff to stimulate her in every way I can. I try to go to church at least once a month because on Saturdays I work full time, and so we like to have Saturday mornings to relax a little bit, you know. But anyway, what I wanted to bring up was that I wasn't here from the beginning, but I wanted to mention that TB Snow, which is the positive approach to brain health. I don't know, nobody's talking about her, but she's excellent. Her videos are everywhere, and they talk about how many, there's like 100, different types of dementia and different things. And this will give you a much more positive attitude about dealing with this. I hear a lot of us not moaning, but I hear us saying, oh, this is happening and this is happening. Well, there's a positive way to look at this as well. And so I ask you to go to tbsnow.com and join and get on the mailing list. And she has videotapes and everything. And again, as I brought up last year, don't forget about Alexa. Alexa's a great help. Okay, so, and I want to get to know you better. Okay, so thank you.
Thank you. Y'all give it TB Snow. Remember that, TB Snow. All right. Teepa Snow. Teepa Snow. All right. Y'all correct me. I'm gonna look it up. All right. All right.
I just want to do a little plug here for the Alzheimer's Association. There's a 24-hour helpline. And when you're having issues, maybe your loved one is sundowning, maybe there's some frustration, maybe some flare-ups, that's an excellent number to call. You have master social workers who can actually work with you, help you to understand the symptoms, and develop some strategies about how you're going to better help and support your loved one as well as take care of yourself.
Yes, great organization. You had a question, comment?
I just wanted to add, I appreciate what you're doing for the churches, helping them to become aware of mental illness And I want to do whatever I can also with Karen. I had the opportunity to be promoted to bishop in the Pentecostal Assemblies of the World this year. So I'm the thank you. Go ahead. So I am the bishop over the churches here in the state of Washington. And I love your spirit, and I'm connected with Church of God in Christ, Seventh-day Adventist, whoever that God has given me that inroads out. You will definitely have more churches in the state of Washington. Appreciate your spirit, and yes, you will be back.
All right, I got 2 more minutes. Any other? Right there. Okay, I'm coming. I see you.
My name is Christine Sinclair, and I am with an organization called Generations Aging with Pride. Our organization serves the LGBTQ community over 50 years old. And as you can imagine, as people of color, as African Americans over 50 years old, and either being lesbian, gay, bisexual, or transgender, this is a group of people that is a subculture.
Wow, guys. Wow. Hold on there. We have one more segment that we are coming to. And yeah.
First, to provide care for
and then
them.
we will talk.
And often are ostracized in the medical community, social service community. And so I want to let you know that we're there, we're here in this community, Generations Aging with Pride, and that we are here to support African Americans of the LGBT community and connect them with services and education and care providers, and also education for care providers. Just want you to keep us in mind and call on us. And if you know people who need services, care providers who are working with LGBT elders, African Americans, call us and let us help.
Right. The Balm of Gilead, yes. So the Balm of Gilead, we're a national organization, or actually international, because we have an office in Dar es Salaam, Tanzania, and we work with the faith community to address health disparities. And so we do various programs, such as the National Week of Prayer for the Healing of AIDS. We do Memory Sunday through our National Brain Health Center for African Americans. And we also have a diabetes prevention program. And that's where we are in 5 churches in 5 states doing pre-diabetes programs for individuals. So yeah, so that's what we do. So lastly, I'll say this. Just take a moment. Close your eyes. Come on, close your eyes. Yes, don't be afraid. Nobody's gonna steal anything from you. Close your eyes. And just think of yourself in a place that you really want to be. Just think of that place. And take a deep breath. And exhale. Now think of yourself in this place doing something. Regardless, don't worry about money. Money's not an issue. Doing whatever you want to do in this place. Now take a deep breath in and exhale. Okay, one more breath. Inhale and exhale. And I'll end on this. In order for you to have and do whatever you want to do, you have to first imagine it. You have to first imagine it. You can have whatever your heart's desires. You just have to take that moment and allow yourself to breathe in and exhale. Thank you so much. I appreciate you.
Wow, guys. Wow. What a awesome workshop. Oh my goodness. Wasn't that awesome? That was outstanding. Guys, I want to take this time to read a few comments that I received from some of my subscribers. And I'm going to read here from Leon Harrell, my my favorite nephew, he says, thank you for all of the education there. And this is from Garnett Jackson. I know who this is. She says, thank you so much for sharing your knowledge. Um, we have so many other videos. I have one from Barb Johnson. She actually sent in a dynamic um, comment. And I'm telling you, I just appreciate all of you guys, how you're just responding and how we're coming together with this information. This is needed information. And I will give a shout out to more of my subscribers as time goes on, because we are just about getting ready to bring this video to an end. I want to ask you guys to make sure you look out for my lives that we're doing also on Alzheimer and dementia. And we did a video that really clarified the differences between Alzheimer's and dementia. Make sure that you see that video, because it goes through the definitions, let you know what they are, because we were getting them all confused. We'll be like, well, this person has Alzheimer's, well, then I think they have dementia. And, so we need to know what we're talking about and make sure that we understand the umbrella, what's happening with them, and some of the signs and symptoms, so we can kind of recognize some things. And we can also make we can ask intelligent questions, and we can jot down intelligent notes when we're taking our loved ones to the doctor, so that the doctor can we can help the doctor make the proper diagnosis in what's going on, because it's been proven the earlier the diagnosis, the better. The earlier the diagnosis is, the better. And we also learn that there's some dementias that are reversible, because we have thought, that, oh, they got this and this is it, and no. There are some that are reversible, but we need to know what they are, and we need to know what seems to be going on with them. Again, sharing dementia, um, caregiving strategies in the Black African American communities to caregivers, it can be very impactful. This particular video and the one I did previous, a couple of them actually, they really focus on getting the message out to the community and into the Black churches. It's so important, guys. Our Black churches, because a lot of times I don't know what has happened, but we need to do better. We need to do better. And so I jotted down a few notes off of the podcast that we just listened to, the workshop that we just listened to, and I'll put some of these in the description box. There's a link called Pair to Care we need to know about. There's one called bombingilead.org we need to know about. I love the illustration he did. When you look in the mirror, who do you see? In so many people, and I've done it before, I'll look in the mirror and I say, wow, I'm really starting to look like my mom now. I grew up looking like my dad, but I'm looking more like my mom. That is one aspect of it. Then the other aspect, I love what I heard that gentleman say, as he said, wow, I'm a Black man and I see myself struggling to get through. And I like that. And I like the one where the young lady said, I look in and I see that I'm enough. I like that. But I also like what this Dr. Carey was sharing. He said, do you see hurt when you look in the mirror? Do you see pain? He said, do you see debt? Because sometimes, being a family caregiver for our loved ones, we can get into debt. There's some things that go on. He also talked about the importance of trust. The importance of trust. It is absolutely necessary that we are able to trust someone other than ourselves when you are a caregiver. Now, my family, for the new subscribers that are here, okay, I was a caregiver for my mom and a caregiver for my late husband. They are both in heaven. So right now, I do what I do because of what I've been through. So what I'm doing now is sharing information and doing research and bringing information now to Black family caregivers who are in these roles. My mother had a form of dementia, and I know how to properly say that now. And my husband, of course, was kidney failure and peripheral artery diseases. So, if we know these things, we know more about how to voice them and how to care for them and what to look for and what to do. Um, so, in our Black churches and communities, churches, community centers, wherever we can do, and definitely online. Definitely online. I want you to know, guys, this is a safe space. You can contact me. There's my email on the screen, esther.pinkston@gmail.com. If you have a question, maybe you don't want to ask it in the text, in the chat, or online, and we can see if we can find information for you or go that route. You can definitely, if you feel you need prayer, email me, and we have a prayer team as I in the ministry as well can pray for you. We will definitely be able to pray and support you. We have a online international prayer line that is open every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday at 6 a.m. in the morning. You can get on there and listen in. Well, if you can ask for prayer, or you can just get on and listen in and listen to other people pray as we're on that line. Um, what else is there? I'm trying to tell you real quick. I love what he said about Memory Sunday. Guys, if you've ever heard of Memory Sunday, let me know, because I had never heard of Memory Sunday before. And he's saying that this particular organization, Dr. Carey, there, they do theirs every second Sunday in June, and it's dedicated to people that suffer from different forms of dementia. And I love the way he said they might not have them in the main auditorium. Maybe they will have them in another setting so they won't be so overly stimulated with all the people and all the things that are going on. But they still get to come to church because many of our loved ones, that's what they did. They grew up in church. They know the old hymns. They know all of these things. And it will just really inspire and bless their spirit, I believe. So that is something that is very important. And I believe I'm going to mention that to my bishop. All right. So that's doing community engagement. So all of those things, guys, education is key. Education is king. Education is key. So we want to continue on this platform on educating on two main areas: hemodialysis and dementia. We're going to be seeing what we can find, videos, bringing material in when we can get live support in. We'll have live support. We just want to be a blessing to you and to the community. And we also want you to check out our spiritual, because there's also a video of today where I was in worship. So we focus on the spiritual side as well. We want to empower caregivers, all areas, all four areas. You know what they are: is spiritually, is physically, is mentally, and is financially. I believe in holistic medicine. I believe in God. I believe that God covers the entire person. He believes in us being whole, totally, complete in Him. Not just we're only strung out on just getting physically healed or just getting, no, it's the completeness. And He wants us to be at peace, to have the peace of God. He wants us to have peace with God. He wants us to have the peace that comes from God. And He wants us to have peace with God. So Jesus said, "My peace I leave with you, not as the world gives." All right. So the world can't understand the peace that God gives us in the midst of the storm. So you're dealing with maybe situations that as you are caregiving, but we're going to be praying for you that God will sustain you, that by His grace, same way He got me through, I know that He can get you through. Why? Because He's the same God. He never changes. I mean, different location, different face, different person, different family member, different this, but He's the same God. And so we want to make sure mental health is a big thing now with a lot of people. And so we want to make sure that we're here and that we can help and provide avenues for you to get that mental health support. Encouraging caregivers to prioritize their own well-being. You must put aside time to take care of yourself. So guys, I thank you. Please like, share, subscribe, share this video, please. You might not be dealing with this, but you might know somebody that are. So that is. So please share it. And we're going to see you in our next video.